Hi friends, in this lecture, we will study how to set the parent and child relationship in After Effects. So, without any further ado, let's dive straight into it. So, the first thing we will do is click on New Composition, then we will click on OK. After that, we will click on File, and we will import one file, like surfvan.png. We will drag that file into our timeline. We will minimize that file, and we will reposition it to the lower left corner of the screen. Now, we will animate this van. So, we are on the first frame, and we will press P for activating position, and we will set a keyframe here. Then, we bring the playhead to the 1 second mark, and we move the van to the new location. Then, we move the playhead to the 2 second mark, and change the position of the van. 3 second mark, 4 second mark, and finally the last 5 second mark. Now, we bring the playhead to the beginning, and if you play the animation, you will notice that the van moves along the path. Now, we will bring the playhead to the very first frame, and we will click outside, so that nothing is selected, and then, we will draw one ellipse. We will ensure that there is no fill for the ellipse. Then we will give the ellipse a stroke of 4 pixels. And we will drag the ellipse to cover the van. Now, if I play the animation, you will notice that the van will move across. However, the circle remains there itself. So, if I want that the circle should move along with this particular van, then I should make the circle the child of the van. So, let us see how to do that. So, the first thing which I would do is that I would bring the shape layer below the van. Then, I would click on this icon over here, which is called as the Parent Pickwhip Select. I would click over here, and drag, and bring it to the surf van. So, this would make the shape layer as the child for the surf van. Now, as I play, you would notice that wherever the van moves, the circle also moves along with it. Because the circle has now become the child of the van. I would move the anchor point of the circle in the center by pressing Ctrl, Alt and Home. Now, you would notice that wherever the van moves, the circle also moves along with it. Now, let us go one step further, and we would modify this circle. I would zoom the screen, so that you would get a closer view of the van. And then, I would click on the right pointing arrow next to the surf van. And, I would click on right pointing arrow next to ellipse. And, I would click on right pointing arrow next to stroke. And, what I want to do over here is that I want to make a dotted circle for the border. So, the stroke width is 4. Now here you have dashes. I would click on the plus sign next to dashes. I would click one more time. And I increase the gaps. And the line cap I would make it to round cap. And I reduce the dashes so that it looks circular. Then I would zoom so that you can see the shape. Okay, so you can now see that the dash has become circular. And I can increase the number of circles. Now, I would unzoom it. And I want that this circle should rotate. So, I want to set another animation for this shape layer. So, I would bring the playhead to the beginning. I am on the shape layer. And I press R for rotate. Then, I would click on the stopwatch over here and set a keyframe. And then, I go to the last frame. And then, I set the number of times it should rotate as 2. Now, I would come to the beginning, and you would notice that as the van is moving, the circle is also moving, and the circle is also rotating along the path. Now, I would set the zoom magnification to fit, to get a better view. Now, let us go a step further. And we would draw one tiny circle on top of the larger circle. And ensure that the stroke for this circle is set to 4 pixels. And the anchor point is in the center. Then, I would copy the shape layer 2, and paste it 4 times. Now, I would move the shape layer 3 to the side. Then, I would move the shape layer 4 to the left side. And finally, I would bring the shape layer 5 to the bottom. Shape layer 6 is an extra layer, so I would delete that layer, as I no longer need it. Now, I would select shape layers 2 through 5. And make them as child layers to shape layer 1. So, the shape layer 1 becomes the parent for all these 4 layers. So, what is the advantage of this? You would notice that in this animation, wherever the parent moves, the child moves along with it, and wherever the child moves, the grandchild moves along with it. In this example, the surf van is the parent, shape layer 1 is the child, and the remaining 4 layers are the grandchildren. The parent-child relationship is thus helpful whenever you are creating projects, like alien ship animations, or orbital animation, of planets etc. So friends, with this we end this lecture, and we would meet again in the next lecture. Till that time, goodbye.